starting out with the Castaways. We're getting ready to start play one, round one. We've got our board set up. So Castaways, scenario one. You are castaways on a deserted island. It is the end of summer. You have to prepare for winter. Build shelter, a roof, and palisades. It will be difficult to survive during the tough months of autumn and winter. You also have to build a pile of wood so you can light it on fire when you spot a ship on the horizon and call for help. Scenario, or how you're going to win this scenario, you must have built the fire item and a pile of wood. That's in this section of the scenario card there. It has the spots marked off where you're going to be able to pile up your wood and light a signal fire. You've got to do that before the end of the 12th month. And the first time that a ship's going to come by is going to be in the 10th month. So that's the goals of the scenario and the way to win it. So we've got to build fire. In order to build fire, we're going to first have to find a mountain terrain and then spend a build action to try to make fire. And then we've just got to gather all the wood we can and place it in here. There are rules on placing in the wood into the columns. You can only fill one column at a time. So the first time through, we can only place one wood, then the next time two, then three, then four, then ultimately five. That's the maximum you can place at a time. You can place fewer. As we get down here, we could place three and then two, but that's the max. So we're ready to go.
Is there a day marker or a month marker or whatever?
There's our month marker. So we're starting out on number 1, and we're going to start with our team leader. He's going to start us off. So the event. Go ahead and read our first event card.
Food crates. You notice food crates scattered along the shore. Expedition for food.
So that's going to tell us that if we want to spend one worker token, we can get one piece of food, or if we want to spend 2 worker tokens, we can get 2 pieces of food. And we have 2 rounds to do that before it falls off the board and is unavailable, and potentially you have to pay a toll for it.
So it's good to use them up.
It's good to get them off there before you pay the... Yeah. So that's number 1. Normally the first thing you do is pull a card, but first round it's determined for you already. The card's already pulled. Then we go to morale. The team leader again, our soldier here, would get 1 determination or pay, but there's nothing to gain or lose at this time, so that's the second phase. And you go to 3, which is production. You always take production off the hex that your camp is set up on, so we get 1 wood and 1 food, and those are available immediately. So they go into the front part of your resources box. You can get to those right away.
This is the wood, not the food.
Right.
Roger that.
So then we move on to number 4, and that's where the game, the meat of the game, you actually start placing your workers out on the board. You decide what you want to do. So there's not a lot of things you can do right off the bat. Exploring is important. You might as well try to build every item that becomes available to build, because they all do help you in the end. So you can start kind of placing your tokens throughout, deciding what you think you ought to do.
So you get those two blue things there. You're going to place on what you want to do. You can either, we've already got the food off that, so you can either explore one of those 3 hexes.
Yeah. At the end of every night, each survivor has to be able to eat 1 piece of food. If you can't feed everybody, whoever goes hungry takes 2 wounds. That's the only time you take 2 wounds. So we know we need 3 more pieces of food at the end of the round.
Or we sacrifice the hamster.
Right.
Since
That's why I'm dying.
Since we can't gather any food because we haven't explored yet, because we just landed on this island, we probably want to spend some resources to get some food. So I'm going to go ahead and send 1 guy down here for food.
We can just go around and place them 1 piece and then come over. Well, I'm the explorer, so I'm going to explore. But we don't automatically get the food or whatever we find, right?
Right.
Unless
somebody wants to go with you.
That's unfortunate.
Okay. So that's 2 of us. We're definitely going to get both pieces of food.
So that's just 3 food, right?
Yeah. So we're still going to be 1 short, and we're probably going to have to decide who wants to go hungry night 1.
You can place your second guy now.
So now you can see these icons here tell you how many characters are needed. Anytime you go hunting, you have to have 2 people. When you build, you can do it with 1 or 2. If you use 2, you're automatically successful. Which means you don't have to.
We're the tough guys.
There's nothing to hunt yet. There's no.
Oh yeah,
we haven't found any predators. So we need to build, or we can explore one more tile, or you can help one of these and make these explorations successful.
Okay. I'll go ahead and do the food, that way everybody.
No, we've already got the maximum
covered.
Okay.
The most we can do on those 2, and we've already got.
Your options now either help one of these 2, which make it automatic. You don't have to roll; it just becomes successful.
Right.
Explore one that's there, or you can build something.
And the only thing we can build now is the shovel,
which we'll need for other stuff later too.
Which that's how that'll give us food. So
right. As soon as once you have the shovel,
we can make
then you can build a cellar, and you can turn food that would normally rot into food that we can store.
Okay. I usually put one right there.
Yeah, you can put one there, and that'll make that exploration successful. You'll automatically get the tile. You won't have to worry about rolling dice. So you're gonna go with help Chris find this, uncover this one. I think it's worth trying to build. So as the carpenter, I'm gonna try to build a shovel.
Each one of these rounds that we do with two markers is supposed to be a real month.
Oh, okay.
That's why we get more than one action or whatever. He stinks at building stuff.
Not good. Not a good carpenter.
He's a carpenter, yet he can't build a thing. Mosquito under your arm. There it is.
That's about it.
I'm going to help him build the shovel.
Cool.
So there's no way for me to make any more food or get any food, right?
Right.
So
someone's going hungry
either
tonight.
Explore that or help him explore that.
I'll make sure it happens.
Alright. So now.
Okay, so then they tell you to resolve your actions following the flow chart here. So the first thing we're going to do is we've successfully removed this from the board, and those 2 food go into the available later.
Okay.
You'll see why that's important as the game progresses. So this card has been satisfied and just moves off the board. You get your cube back, I get mine back. The next we'd go to hunting. There are no predators to hunt, and we didn't send anybody to hunt, so we skip it. Now you go to building. We do have some folks building. There are 2 of us building, so it's automatically successful. We automatically get the shovel, and we don't have to roll the dice. We're just going to put the shovel in our available later bin. So once you've built them, you turn them over to where it shows the item, and then you're going to use this shovel to do different things. Then that was our only building, so then you go to gathering. You can only gather from adjacent tiles, so we can't do that yet. So now we go to exploring. We'll start up here with the cook and the soldier. They explored this tile, and they've discovered the mountains, which is perfect. Now we can make fire, which is one of the requirements, plus we can make a knife. Once the knife is made, yep. So now we have a predator available, so now we have something we can hunt. You don't know what it is yet, but we know we've found signs of a beast. We also have access to food, where we can forage for food later. We also found a natural shelter, so that's perfect. When we get to the night phase, you can move your camp, and we can move over here and get away from the weather, which is good. And we also found a treasure. We pull 1 treasure token, available to us later. And then there's also a totem icon, but you're going to see on this that totem icons have no effect in the first scenario.
Okay.
Book icons that you're going to find on the adventure cards also have no
Take
effect.
it easy on you in the beginning.
So that's what we got for searching here. That's a good outcome.
Just reading from the card.
So we're going to do our other exploration. The soldier and the explorer come back. They found the grasslands, so that's a good thing. That's another resources. So now we can build
more
even other items. We found another predator, so we add 1 more to the hunt deck.
We can make a bed.
And we found another area that we can look for food. And 3 treasures, and these treasures are huge in this game. They can really, really help you out.
Somebody's been here before.
So we've moved through all the adventure decks. Next thing we would go to would be setting up camp. We decided not to have anybody do that. That might have been an oversight. But we'll know for next time.
We'll just take one.
And nobody healed because nobody needs to.
But we have a natural shelter we can go to.
Yep. So at the end of the planning phase,
He's not here yet.
all of your items that you gathered now become available. This is the time we're going to need them, so we go ahead and put our shovel face up over here to kind of let us know that we have a shovel. Our food becomes available, and then the treasure tokens that you all discovered are also available.
You flip them?
Yep.
When we get a pot, you can use the pot to get two health back. When you get a pot, you can make yours. +1 to a palisade, which we don't have. And when we get a pot,
Wow.
we get +2
We
to
want
our
to build a pot, fellas.
attack. We need a pot.
To build the pot, we need to find the hills. We haven't found the hills yet, so we got to keep exploring. So these items are considered storable. You use them as needed, so they don't go away. Just because we don't have the pot yet doesn't mean we have to discard them. We save them until we can use them.
Okay.
Well, that's a good
We're
thing.
playing Denver. It's the pot.
So that officially finishes phase 4. Now you go into phase 5, which is the weather phase. But as we see in the first scenario, we don't face any weather in the first 3 months. So there's nothing to roll there. You could have pulled a card that might have told you to put a die in there or another marker in there, but we got lucky, no weather at all. So you move on to the final phase, which is the night phase. The night phase, we gotta eat. So
Somebody's gonna go hungry.
now we gotta decide as a group who can take the damage, the hunger
Well, actually,
damage.
I have
So
the
it's
most
probably the
before morale.
explorer.
Yeah.
So again, when you can't eat, you go hungry, and when you go hungry, you take 2 wounds. It's the only thing in the game that causes 2 wounds. So the explorer didn't get to eat. He's hungry. He took
I'm
2
buying,
wounds.
boys. Go ahead. This is filling.
I'm on the supermodel diet. Deep breath for breakfast, deep breath for lunch, a cigarette and a cup of coffee for supper.
Yes.
So the next thing you can do at night is allocate resources. So we could spend our 1 wood, put it over here into our first little stack. Because again, like I said, there are rules to how you can put out the wood. And the first time out, you can only put 1 piece anyway. So we can either allocate it, or it can stay in our available resources, and we can maybe put it to use next round.
Just insert putting out wood jokes.
I say we use it. That's my vote.
And what are you gonna use it for?
To go ahead and put our first marker on our
Put it on the bonfire.
signal fire. So that goes there.
I could eat that, but you know.
And the very last thing you get to do is move camp. And we definitely want to move camp.
Move camp.
Because if you spend the night under the stars, everybody in the party takes 1 wound. But since we found a natural shelter, we can move our camp to the shelter.
A
And
little wind burn.
nobody takes any damage, nobody takes any wounds for spending the night under the stars. And automatically now we've got our shelter, so we can start trying to build our palisades and our...
You want to use that, or you want to save it?
What is that?
Might as well. That's a +1 to our
Fence.
palisades.
We're building a fence around the camp to keep critters out.
Cool.
You get hungry predators that come looking for food or looking for us, and that'll help keep
It's like
them
when they
out.
attack us, that's 1 less that they'll do to us.
So
Okay.
we got a benefit from that. And that's it. So that's round 1. So at the end of each round, you move your marker up to the next one. You pass off the little leader
Captain.
symbol, the captain disc, to the next player in line. And you start up here at your event. Deck number 1 has got the question marks. So since we already took care of that other one, we're going to flip over a new one. This new one says landslide.
Oh.
Alright.
Just dandy. I knew something had started happening.
Aren't we on the beach?
Oh, man.
Oh wait, we moved.
No.
Yeah, we moved, and now guess what? Landslide, you must escape. Move your camp to an adjacent tile of your
Oh.
choice. So we just found shelter, but we were getting forced out of the shelter. And
And we lose the palisade, right?
Well, anytime you move, you lose your buildings by half.
Oh.
Also keeps you all safe.
But you always round down, you know, so half of one is half and you round that down to a 0. But the problem is, of course, since we didn't actually build the shelter, we're going to lose it.
It's still over here.
We used our treasure item to beef up our palisades and we instantly lost it. Plus, the little brown
Thanks, Mike.
question mark means we have to place the brown token, which might still be in the box.
And this is why we can't have anything done.
Exactly. You're going to place that on top of the build deck.
The brown one. We need the brown one.
We'll need all 3 eventually.
Yeah,
but
let's get all of them out.
so what that means is, next time we try to build, even if we send 2 people, you still don't have to roll the dice and it's still successful, but you have to draw a card. So in that sense, you might as well just spend 1 person.
Who's going to draw a card
anyway. You got to draw a card anyway. And then we're going to put this in our threat deck that has to be resolved. To resolve it, we need to spend one action, 1 token, plus we need the shovel, which luckily we have. And if we do that,
dig out all the people.
That person will get a determination token. If we don't do it, we get no production phase in the next round, which means we wouldn't get any food or wood or whatever. So we want to take care of this before it goes off the board.
Okay, that's what it was.
So, so that's step 1. Step 2, we go to our morale track, which we didn't do anything about boosting our morale. So I don't gain anything, but I don't have to pay anything either. Then we go to number 3, production phase. So you only get the resources off the tile your camp is set up on. So we get 1 food, and it's going to be available right now. That's production phase.
You put it on a beast, or is that just the first time you draw it?
Just the first time, yeah. So now we get to go to our planning phase. We get to lay out our folks, take care of what we need to take care of. So I think we really probably should have bumped up our morale last time, so I'm going to do that action.
Come on, guys, we can do it.
Let's just put a little effort into it. Something like that. All right.
Laura's ready to go.
I'm hungry. We're going to go find a pig or tiger or something.
You know we have 0 weapens.
I don't care.
So you're going
if
to
we
take
put 2 of us.
100% damage.
No, 2 of us. There's a soldier over there.
I know, but with hunting, you have to send 2 people every time, but it doesn't guarantee success. You still have to beat what the beast shows.
We got a shovel.
But if the beast shows a 6, you're going to take 6 wounds.
I got a hammer.
Right. Well, we don't have anything else yet.
I'll explore and try to look for food.
We got 2 food sources we can gather from.
Man, them dandelions are good.
Well,
Okay.
so how do I gather food?
You would place your token on a food, and one of the adjacent ones,
not
I'm
one
sorry,
of
not on our camp. So
Okay.
that food or this food is available to get food.
And we have to do that too, so.
Yeah.
But we can
Now
do that next.
We have 2 rounds to do
Okay,
it.
we don't have to
That's
do
true.
okay.
But they start to stack
Now
up.
when I gather
so-
food, am I only going to gather 1?
Right. And even if you send 2 people, you only gather 1. So that's one of those.
So if I come over here to where this food is,
There you go. That'd be good. All right.
Now will that go up here?
Well, it's not automatic. We gotta.
Yeah, we gotta take those out.
Well, don't we gain
That was
one?
our 1 for production. Yeah.
I'm gonna start looking for pots.
I'm not a very good cook.
No.
usually that's down in the lowlands, around the area of Washington.
I'm going to try to build the snare, because if we get the snare, I can give us 1 extra food every day. So that's probably worthwhile. So I'm going to try to build the rope, which with the rope I can have the snare.
So how do we build the fireplace, by the way?
You just have to put an action. It has to be available,
Because I can
which
start
it
healing.
is. Yeah, so you can put your guy in here to try to make fire.
I'll wait to you.
Yeah, so I've done mine. Just gonna explore.
Fire.
So we're taking a chance with everything we're doing so far.
We got this.
So you can help somebody to make us 100% successful, or you can go somewhere else and we're just gonna.
We'll be back here in 3 weeks.
Dice.
Hopefully we won't be dead. I got food.
So the rope can also be used
Can I have
as a
one of
weapon, right? As a snare for hunting.
What are you gonna give me?
Right, we'll use it. I'll
Heal
make
me-
my
heal me
snare and
first.
we'll get an extra
I'll heal
food
you
every
first.
single time.
Okay. So
Promise.
I can get with you
Thank
to
you.
make sure it gets
Yeah,
done.
yeah, I think that's
It's
a
been a
great
long time since I
idea.
had one of those.
I think got a little melty in the car the other day.
Then if we want to, we could spend one of our hammer and nail resources, which gives us an extra building disc, which would make that 100% successful too. But we're using one of our we only get to use that twice in the whole game. So we got to decide if having fire is that important to us, or if we're willing
Fire
to take a
can heal too.
chance.
Where's the 20-sided die? Roll for initiative.
I think really the rope and the fire are the only thing we even need to try to build this round. So, but I don't know if it's essential. Or not.
Oh, there you go.
I think everything's
Everybody's
out.
out.
We're just trying to decide if we want to use any of this
Sure.
stuff.
Last game we played, we didn't even use.
Let's
but
use the
one
hammer
of
and make fire.
Okay, so we're going to turn this in. We get a build token, and now that makes 2 actions, which makes that 100% guarantee.
Oh, it's as much easier with a hammer and building fire. Break it up, throw it in there.
And hit it with a hammer. Wow, we got fire.
All right, so we didn't. So now we're going to resolve. We didn't have anybody do this action.
I gotta try
Still
that.
not hunting. Now we're going to
Find
build.
the hammer.
Feel it myself. This is not working.
So here's something what we kind of forgot. We got to decide if we want to meta game or not. But we just spent one of our only 2
No, because we have to do it